अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 51, verse number 17. So in the previous class we studied how Krishna ran away from Mathura without any weapons, wearing a garland of lotus flowers, and then Kalyavana, he also ran behind him, and they kept on running. And then Krishna entered into a cave where Muchukunda was sleeping. And then Kalyavana entered, Krishna hid in the corner, and Kalyavana he kicked Muchukunda, who woke up, and Kalyavana got liberated. He was burnt alive. In India you burn dead body. In his case it was straight. So then Muchukunda saw this person standing there. Actually king started asking that who was this person and why was he sleeping? So he explained that he was Muchukunda, son of Mandhata, and he has helped Devas for a long time to protect them from Asuras. And then when Shiva's son Kartikeya was born and became their protector, Saninam Namaham Skanda, as Krishna says, among the Senanis, among the army men, I am Skanda. So then Muchukunda was released by them and he got the boon that he can sleep, and anyone who disturbs will be burnt by his vision. So there is a place called Dholpur in Rajasthan, you heard? It's south of Agra, maybe about 200 kilometers from here. That's where it happened. So they ran that much. So these stories are not just myth, they actually happened, as probably you saw the Dwarka. There are a lot of videos about Dwarka being found. Even Western people, Western archaeologists, they accept that there was a city, and it seems there was some kind of tsunami after Krishna left after 1 week. Because in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, Krishna said that after 1 week this city will be drowned in water. So I think water level rose something like 15 feet and a lot of things got submerged. So this is the place, Dholpur, that cave is there still. So now he is continuing to explain, Narloke parityajya rajyam nihata kantakam asman palayato vira kamaste sarvojhita. So this is the Devas were speaking to Sukadeva Goswami is explaining that they spoke to Muchukunda that you came here after giving up earth, and although you had a kingdom without any obstacles, without any enemies, but to protect us you came here and you gave up all pleasures of the senses, because as a king he had all the wealth. So you have sacrificed so much for us. But now so much time has passed, because there is a time difference between earth and upper planetary systems. So it says, Suta Mahishyo Bhavato Jnatayo Matya Mantrinaha Prajascha Tulya Kaliya Nadhuna Santi Kalitaha. So he says, your children, your sons and daughters, your wife, your relatives, your counselor, your ministers, he says, and also people who were there, your subjects when you were ruling, he says they all have been killed by time. Kalita Nadhuna Santi, they do not exist anymore. Means he is alone. He is in a similar situation where Arjuna was imagining in the first chapter, that if we fight, then what will happen? All these people will be killed. So in his case, everybody was killed. So imagine that you go to another country and you come back, and all the people whom you knew and did not know, they all got wiped out, and everybody is new to you. So what would you do? If somebody asks you who you are, you'll have difficulty explaining to them. So he says that they have been Kalita, Tulya Kaliya, people of your time, they are all, Kalita means counted, they all have been counted by Kala. Kalayati iti Kala. Kalan means also to count, Sankalan. So, Kalo Baliyan Balinam Bhagwan Ishwaro Vyayaha prajaha kalayate kridan pashupalo yatha pashun. So what is kala? So he says kala is very powerful. It's the most powerful. And as in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Baldev Vidyabhushan explains how there are 5 subjects described in Bhagavad Gita. One of them is Kala. So Kala is beginningless, endless, but it is not conscious. But it is very powerful. So he says Kalo Baliyanan Balinam. So there are many powerful people, but they all fail in front of time. And this Kala itself is form of Bhagavan. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, says Kalo Asmi, Kalyatam Kala. So he says those who control I am time. So he says he is Bhagavan, he is Ishvara, he is ruler, and he is Avyaya, he is imperishable. Because time does not perish. It looks like time is passing, time is going. We say like that, but time is not going. Where is time going? Wherever you go, it's there, right? If time goes somewhere, then after some time there should be no time. But even then you have to use time to explain after some time. So therefore time does not go anywhere. So it says avyaya. So navyati iti avyaya. Means it does not deteriorate, it does not perish, it does not get consumed, eaten up, it does not diminish. So therefore it is avyaya. And prajaha kalayate kridan. And it plays and eats up all the people. Praja means those whoever are born. So prajaha kalayate kridan pashupalo yatha pashun. Just like a person who is tending animals like shepherd, cowherd, and they control, they are the one who guide them, go this way, that way. Otherwise they can run here and there. So like that time controls everything. Kalo asmi. Lokashakrit pravriddha. So varam vrinishva bhadram te rite kaivalya maddana eke vishwarastasya bhagavan vishnu avyayah. So they said that, oh gentle person, let there be all auspiciousness for you, and you can ask for a boon from us. Whatever you ask, we will give you, except one thing, and that is Kaivalya. Rite Kaivalyam Adya Na. You can ask to us today what you want, we will fulfill your wish. But please do not ask for moksha. Why? Ek eva Ishwaras tasya Bhagavan Vishnu Ravya. Because there is only one person who can give that moksha, and that is Bhagavan Vishnu, the imperishable Lord. He is the only one who can grant you moksha, because moksha means becoming free from Maya, and Maya belongs to him. So only he can make you free from Maya, there is no one else. Others can give you material things, dharma, artha, kama, anything. They can give you, but moksha is given only by Mukunda, not by anyone else. So they are being very clear. Otherwise he may say, oh, I want moksha, and then they have to say no. So don't promise something which you cannot do. Sometimes people promise to others which is beyond their capacity, and then they don't do it. Of course they cannot do it. And then it becomes problem for both parties. So there is not much comment on this. Kalitas Chalita. Kalita means Chalita, means everyone is moved, everyone is controlled by time. Kena Kalita, who moves, it is the time. Eva muktaha savai devan abhivandya mahayashaha asaishta guhavishto nidraya devadattaya. So when he was spoken like this by the devas, then he praised them, Mahayasha, the greatly famous one, and he got his boon to sleep. So he said that I just want to sleep, nothing else. Because sometimes you cannot fall asleep. So it's a difficulty, and there are no sleeping tablets available, or they don't work. So he asked this. Also, if you work too much, you are overly tired, you cannot fall asleep. It happens also. So he said, I have not slept for long, now I have become habituated. So give me the boon to sleep. So he entered in a cave and he slept. Guha Avishta, cave of the heart. So go and take rest inside. Because when you sleep, you go inside. People say ignorance is bliss, right? So this is the greatest ignorance, sleep. You become ignorant even of your own self, your own body, your own house, everything. What can be more ignorant? So this is the great bliss, right? So that's why ignorance is bliss. So he got blissed out inside the cave. And cave is good because no mosquitoes, no flies. Flies don't come in the dark. Mosquitoes come, but there is no water there. So they cannot survive. And no disturbance of the sound, any airplanes flying up inside the cave. It's soundproof. So therefore he says Guhavishta. So Ashaishta, he slept there, entering into the cave. And he's called here as Mahayasha, means he had great fame because even the devas were pleased with him. So that's being described here. Purushottamji, you have something?
Yes, this thing, since the body in the earth is made from the earthly elements, so how could, and I think I heard in heaven, the body is made from the Tejas Padartha. So how could a person could transmit from here to heaven in the same body? Arjuna also went there, and this is also another incident. So what could be the reason for that?
Well, maybe they change their body. Physical body will not live there. It's not clear nowhere it is mentioned, but they have to, because devas also come here. So they have the ability to change. This place is also not suitable for devas, but they become visible. So there must be some process to do that.
But they become visible only to certain people, not to everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they must have some yogic power to do that. So Krishna also went and he brought a tree from there. We also read that assembly house came from there, Sudharma, to Dwarka. So it's not clear how it works, because one side we see that there is a time difference. The time functions differently, and obviously that those people, they don't eat food like us. That's why they're called Dasa. They only eat amrita, not this gross food like this. So they must have some other type of bodies. But then all these wars are going on, fighting. So not clear how it works.
Thank you.
So yes, some yogic powers change body. स्वापम यातम यस्तु मध्ये बोधे त्वामचेतनः स्वतया दृष्टमात्रस्तु भस्मी भवतु तत्क्षणात्. So he says, once you go to sleep, and if someone comes to wake you up foolishly, achetana. Achetana literally means one who is unconscious. An unconscious person, how will he wake him up? So unconscious means not being aware of who you are, and you will burn him. So that is the meaning of achetana, not knowing this. And if out of his foolishness he wakes you up, then he will be burned to ashes just by your looks, immediately. Tatshanat, no delay. As you see, just like there is some object and you pour petrol on it, it catches fire immediately. So like that he will burn. So therefore don't wake up somebody who is sleeping. That is the message. As they say, let the sleeping dogs lie. Right? Because the person gets upset if they wake someone up. Unless the person who told you to wake him up. Somebody is sleeping, let him or her sleep. It's also mentioned in the Smriti Shastra. Don't disturb a sleeping person. Because why should you disturb?
Even if he falls asleep in class.
Even
if he falls asleep in class.
Class is the best place to sleep. No one will ask you. Yavane bhasmasannite Bhagavan Satvatar Shabha Atmanam Darshayamasa Muchukundaya Dhimate. So when Kaliyavan was burned to ashes and Sri Krishna was standing to the side, so then he made himself visible. Now it will be described that he was very effulgent. So what happened to his effulgence all this time? Because when Kaliyavan came, if he was effulgent like a bulb, then he would have seen there should have been no darkness. But he did not see him. That means he kept his effulgence within himself, and now he is releasing it. So he turned on the switch. When he was standing before, he kept the switch off. So nobody could see him. So now he says, Atmanam Darshyamase. He showed himself. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, right? Naham prakasha sarvasya yog maya samavrita mudhoyam nabhijanati. So Krishna can cover himself, he can show himself selectively. Can do that if he wants. So sarve mam pashyantu, when he wishes let everyone see me, then everyone sees him. Now he says no one can see me except if I want myself to show somebody. So some great devotees, he wants to give his darshan and they can see him, and others not. So here therefore it says Atmanam Darsyamas. Otherwise he should have said that he came in front of him, Darshyamasa. Why Darshyamasa? Means he did something to show himself. So Muchukundaya Dhimate. So Muchukunda, the intelligent one, to him Bhagwan, who is the best of the Sattvatas, so he came. But he showed himself when Kalevan was burnt. So he achieved the purpose for which he ran so much. And he was not perspiring. He was okay. So tam alokya ghanshyamam pītakauṣeya vāsasam Srivatsa vakshasham bhrajat kaustubhena virajitam. So then the king, he saw him. How did he see him? That is being described. So he was blackish like the new cloud, and he was wearing a nice silken yellow dress. That is his favorite color. And he had Srivatsa on his chest, this special streak of golden hair, what we call as blonde hair, right? So his hair is not blonde, but on his chest he has a streak of blonde hair. That is called Srivatsa. And he has this famous Kaustubha gem hanging in his neck, Bhrajat Kaustubhena Virajitam. So this is what the king saw. So there is not commenting anything. Kevalyasya data. Then he still had 4 hands. Remember when he came out of Mathura, he had 4 hands. So now also Krishna is manifesting his 4 hands, which means no flute. 4 hands, flute don't go together. So Chaturbhujam Rochamanam Vaijantya cha Malaya Charu Prasanna Vadanam Spuran Makara Kundalam. So how he was having 4 hands, and he was very effulgent, Rochamanam. And now he has a Vaijanti Mala. Previously he was having 1 mala of lotus flowers. Vaijanti Mala is made from flowers of 5 different colors. That is called Vaijayanti Mala. And 1 mala is lotus flower, which goes touching your feet. So now he is different. And Charu Prasanna Vadanam. He had a very pleasing, beautiful face, and he was having Makar Kundal, the earrings shaped in the Makara. Makara is some type of fish, special, and the Kundala, the earrings were also shining and dangling from his ears. Prekshaniyam nirlokasya sanuraga smitekshanam apichava sammatta mrigendrodara vikramam. So he looked very beautiful, therefore he is called here as Prekshaniya. So Prekshaniya means something which is worth looking at. Like you say that it is worth going and watching that. So that's Prekshaniya. Nirlokasya means people feel happy to see him. And he was having a smile, very affectionate one. Sanuraga smita ikshanam. And he was also looking at him. So affectionate smile and looks together. And apichya vayasam. He was young. He was not looking old or anything. And apichya means very beautiful. So, like a beautiful young person, young man, and he was very, just by his looks, you could see that he is very powerful, just like a lion. Matta Mrigendra Udara Vikramam. So full of prowess, strength, like a mad lion. So this is how Muchukunda had darshan of Bhagavan. Very fortunate. If you wake up and you have darshan of Bhagavan right in front of your eyes, this is... Ask him to introduce himself. So Bhagavan has to introduce himself to Muchukunda. So Paryaprichan Mahabuddhis Tejasa Tasya Dharshitaha Shankitaha Shankai Raja Durdharshamiva Tejasa. So that highly intelligent person who was being subdued by the prowess of this person. Tejasa tasya dharshita. Dharshita means just like you have some lamp in the daylight and then some sun is there, so you hardly see the lamp. So the light of the lamp becomes subdued by the sunlight. At night, sunlight, that same lamp gives so much light. But in the daytime, you probably will see only the lamp. Around that you don't see any light of the lamp. So that is called dharshita, I mean subdued by his tejas of Sri Krishna. And then he was doubtful, means in his mind he first was thinking, who is he? He is some deva, is coming from another place. So therefore, Shanakahi, so he took some time, he did not ask immediately. First he looked at him and tried to contemplate. Then gradually he asked him, Raja Durdharsham Eva Tejasa. So then he posed a question to Krishna. That this person appears like somebody who is unconquerable. Sri Muchukunda Uvacha Ko Bhavan Iha Samprapto Vipine Girigavvare Padbhyam Padma Palashabhyam Vicharisi Uru Kantake. So first question he says is Ko Bhavan. Who are you, sir? Because he is surprised that you look like a very special person, royal, nicely dressed, and this place is like a cave and forest area, and you have very tender feet, Padma Palashabhyam, and this place is full of thorn. So what are you doing here that you are walking here on your feet, which are very tender, like the lotus flower, Padma Palashabhyam Padbhyam Vicharasi? And where are you vicharing? Where are you wandering? Uru Kantake, this place which is very thorny. So this is a big surprise for him, that what is he doing there. So Swapantam iti padyam na sarvasammatam. It seems there was some extra sloka here, but it says that it's not accepted by all. Shankitaha kimayam ishvara eva iti agat shankaha durdharsham adhrishyam iva iti vakyalankare. So why he was doubtful, or he was thinking in his mind because he was thinking that is he God? But he must know the symptoms of God, but he was surprised that what God would be doing here. So therefore he says, Ko Bhavan iti. And Durdharsham Adrishyam, because you look like that you are a great person and no one can overpower you. That is the meaning of Durdharsha. That it looks like that there is no one who can conquer over you. But what are you doing here in the cave? And then who is this fellow who came here? Because everything looks so surreal. Probably you may be thinking, I'm really awake or having some kind of dream. Sometimes in the dream you can have some very unusual dreams. So kim svit tejasvinam tejo bhagwan va vibhaveshuhu surya somo mahendro va lokapalo paropi va manye tvam deva devanam trayanam purushashabha yadabadhase guhadhvantam pradipah prabhaya yatha sushrutam sushrushatam avyalikam asmakam narpungava swajanma karma gotram va katyatam yadi rochate vayam tu purusha vyaghra akshvakaha kshatra bandhavah Muchukunda iti prokto yavanashva atmaja prabhu. So he is saying that kim svit tejasvinam tejo, that are you the brilliance of the brilliant objects? As Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, teja tejasvinam aham. So he is asking the same thing, are you the teja of the tejasvis? You are the brilliance of the brilliant or effulgent objects? Or is it that you are fire god, therefore you are looking so brilliant? Or is it that you are sun or moon or Indra? Or are you one of the Lokpalas, Varuna, Yama, etc.? So he is unable to know. And then finally he says, but I think that you are Bhagavan Vishnu. Manye tvam deva devanam trayanam purushashabha. So there are three famous devatas, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva. So he says that I consider that you are the best among the three, means you are the Vishnu. Why? Yad badhase guhadhvantam pradipah prabhaya yatha. Because you are dispelling the darkness of the cave, just like the lamp of the dark room. So by your effulgence, you are removing the ignorance of the gufa. I am very eager to hear from you, O best of the human beings. Please tell me about your birth, your activities, and your gotra. So gotra means family, lineage. Kathyatam yadi rochte. So if you please please let me know this. And I am only asking you, I should also introduce myself. So he says, Vayam tu purusha vyagra akshvaka kshetra bandhava. So he says, we, so generally he should have said aham, I am so and so, but he says we. So that is being a king, royal people. So he is also speaking, but he is being very humble. He says, I come in the dynasty of Ikshvaku, but I am a Kshatra Bandhu. So out of humility, he is calling himself as a lowly Kshatriya. And he says, my name is Muchukunda, and I am son of Mandhata, who is son of Yavanasva. So Yavanasva Atmaja Prabhu. So in this way he spoke. So he has introduced himself, and he is also conjecturing about the identity of Sri Krishna. Who is he? So there was no need for him to make this conjecture. He could have just asked, Ko Bhavan? So this question was also asked by the Kumaras when the Hans avatar appeared to them. So then he replied that, what is the meaning of this question, Ko Bhavan? He started replying, is it related with my body? It's related with my Atma? So of course Krishna does not speak like that here. So he will reply. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti comments on one word where he says that Yad Badhase Guhadhvantam, that you are dispelling the darkness of the cave. So he comments on this, that Krishna is dispelling the darkness of two caves. One is external cave, other is internal cave, the cave of the heart. So why heart is called cave? There's a cave. How? How is the heart a cave? There is darkness there. So it says, Guhayor Girikandara Madanta Karanayor Dhvantam Tamas Tacha Andakaram Avidyam Pradipo Manimaya Jnanamayascha. So he says that you are removing the darkness from the two caves. One is the cave of the mountain, Giri Gavar. Another is the cave of my heart. So you are removing the darkness of both. The external darkness is the darkness, lack of physical light, and the internal darkness is the darkness of the avidya. So means he felt like his avidya was being dispelled. Avidya smita magadvesh. So he says, Pradipo Manimaya Jnanmayascha. So you are the lamp, and you are a lamp of two types. One is Manimaya, means lamp in the form of a gem. There is Suryakant Mani, which brings light. And the other is the lamp in the form of knowledge. So, Jnanam Chetad Ajnanam. So, that Ajnana which is dispelled. So that is what he is commenting on this. And Shushrusatam Bahuvachne Swagaurav Prakhyapam. So he is using Shushrusatam, which is in plural. Instead of Shushrusata, saying Shushrusatam. So he is, for himself, he is also using plural. Like he is using Vayam. Vayam tu Purusha Vyagra. Means he is saying that I am also royal person. Prati vachana shravanartham eva swasya nikrishtatve pratyuttara anarhatvat. So why is he trying to show his own importance? Why is he saying vayam sushrushatam? Why is he using plural? Because he says that if he is too insignificant, then Krishna may not reply. They say, who cares? You are so insignificant. But if he says, no, I am not that insignificant, so then he will reply. Tadapi maunam alakshya svautkarsham api vyanjan tam parichayati vayam tviti. So even after saying all this, Krishna did not speak anything. So he saw that although he is speaking, who are you and so on, but Krishna did not say anything. So then he introduces himself. Otherwise he understood that Krishna is not speaking because he is thinking that this fellow is asking about who I am, but he is not informing me who is he. So he should also first tell so and so. So it's a custom in India that you meet a great person and you bow down and then you introduce yourself. You have to actually tell your name, your gotra, your shakha, which Ved shakha, your rishi, your pravara. All this goes with your introduction. So that's why he is asking for gotra. So gotra signifies other things also. This was a custom. Previously sadhus went for bhandara, and if you are a new person, then they will ask you, what is your name? What is your gotra? What is this? So you have to introduce. The reason was that everybody is not willing to eat with everybody else. So there were restrictions with whom you eat, with whom you don't eat. So if you don't belong to the proper gotra and rishi and pravar and sakha, then take another place. So this is introduction. Now in the West you only speak the first name, not the last. That's not considered as very polite. In India you see people, they don't speak the first name. They call the other person with the last name. So it's different here. So tadapi maunam alakshya sautkarsham vyanjanam tam parichayati vayam. So therefore he is calling himself as Vayam. But then he is also not sounding to be proud. Otherwise think, why is he speaking so proudly? Therefore he says Kshatra Bandhava iti. Swasya nikarsho nirahankaritva gyapnaya prakarshaya. So he is showing that he is not proud, he is not haughty. Therefore he says Kshatra Bandhu. And although in this way he is showing his humility, but that is his greatness. That's what he is saying, that this looks nikarsha. Nikarsha means lowliness, but this is his prakarsha. This is his greatness. That he is not boasting about himself. Otherwise he could boast, I come in this. I mean, he said he comes in such a great dynasty, but then he says, I am a Kshatra Bandhu. So this way he shows his humble demeanor. And then question may come that why are you sleeping here? If you are in the Ikshvaku dynasty, you should be in your palace somewhere. So he said, Chir prajagara shanto nidryo patendriyaha shayesmin vajane kamam kenapi utthapito dhuna. He says that I was awake for a long time and then I was very tired. So therefore my senses, my eyes, body was completely overwhelmed with sleep. Nidra upatendriya. So I was sleeping here, sayesmin vijane, in this place which is vijana, nirjana, without people, and happily, kamam. But now somebody came and woke me up. I don't know who is this person. So sopi bhasmikrito nunam atmiya neva papana. And he also got burnt by his own sin. Anantaram Bhavan Shriman Lakshito Amitra Shatana. And after that, then I am seeing you, who look very beautiful, and Amitra Shatana. So Amitra Shatana means the killer of enemies. Mitra, and opposite of Mitra is Amitra. So Shatana means destroyer. So you are a destroyer of your enemies. So I was sleeping here, then I don't know who is this person who woke me up. And then he is burnt. And then I have your darshan. So I have no idea who are you. Swamitra Shashana iti manye madhvareneva tvaya swashatrur ghatita iti bhava. So Vishwanath Chakravarti has a nice comment here. He says, why is he calling him as Amitra Shatana, killer of the enemies? Because he has not seen anyone being killed by Krishna. So how can he make such a statement? So he says that he is thinking that this person who got killed was his enemy, and he got his enemy killed by my looks. So that's why he is calling him as Amitra Shatana. That you are very good at destroying your enemies. You brought him here, and this guy comes and wakes me up, and he is burnt. So this is what he is speaking. So any question on this?
In this last word, where Amitra Shashana, shouldn't that be Amitra Shatana? Amitra Shashana doesn't make any real sense.
No, it is Satana only, at least in our book.
Okay. Here is even like Shashana, that's what. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Well, if it is Shasan, then you have to say that who rules over them. But the book here says Shatana, and the commentary also. Yes.
I have a tangential question. So you mentioned about the system of introducing one to each other, and then this is important also before taking food. And
yeah, unknown person, of course, not that. If you know somebody, you know.
And therefore, I would like to know what kind of rules exist about association while eating, and
so
what
the
is
rule was that there are people who are called apankta and pankti pavana. So pankti means row or line in which you sit and eat. You sit in a row and eat. So the belief is that when you eat with somebody, then you share their karma. Means you get influenced by their character. And people were very careful about not being influenced by somebody's bad vibrations. Modern times you call vibration. Because what happens is that just like when you are in love with somebody, then you open your heart. So when you eat, your heart also opens at that time. So then opening heart means becoming influenced by your environment. So therefore they were careful that people who are not of good character, that you don't eat with them. So they are called apankta, means they are not fit to sit with you in a line in a row where you sit and eat. That's the idea.
And what would be the criteria? You said something
Criteria
about
means brahmanas, kshatriyas, your varnas. So you don't eat with people who don't match with your varna. Now there is no such thing.
Yeah, because you mentioned character.
Character was also going along with Varna or not? So the system was different. Now it is difficult to understand it. It will all sound very strange now. When you go on a buffet and everybody is standing and eating and taking food from here and there. So there was a lot of rules. Touching, who is touching, what is being touched by somebody else. So now it's all open.
And
Because nobody's heart is getting influenced. Either there is no heart to be influenced, or there is nothing much outside to influence your heart.
Okay, and the purpose of this was to remain pure or to become purified, or
Remain pure and not, because remaining pure also means you don't make yourself impure. Do's and do nots. So this was the whole idea of this rules and regulations, that you don't degrade yourself. Atmanam avsadet. Uddharet atmana atmanam, natmanam avsadet. Don't degrade yourself by your behavior, but uplift it.
And now for us today, especially those who are outside of the Varnashram system, where certain rules were in place and everyone followed it, I suppose, and it was normal to follow that. What would be your recommendation? Is it that, the essence I'm grasping from your explanation is that to look for what kind of character someone has, and then deliberate whether how close I want to be and how much, and then sharing food or eating together is one type of closeness.
So same recommendation, don't eat with people whom you think they are not up to the standard. Just like when we talk about associating with devotees, so does it mean you associate with any devotee? It is, Rupa Goswami says, Sangasvato Vare, that you associate with people who are superior to you, so that you benefit, or at least that should be of your mindset. Because when you eat, you also talk. And they are not supposed to. It's natural. Your mouth is open. Okay, Kanai Das ji.
Regarding the boon and demigods were about
Regarding what? Your voice is a little bit muffled.
The benediction Muchukunda was promised by the demigods, it was except Kaivalya, they said, Maharaj.
Yeah.
So this word Kaivalya, I see that in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam towards the end, that Kaivalya is prayojanam, that the goal of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam being Kaivalya.
Yeah.
But then I have also heard some interpretations that Kaivalya also means prema.
Yes.
So how do we understand this word exactly?
So words can have meaning. One is called popular meaning, another is called meaning which may be contextual meaning. So Kaivalya comes from the word Kevala. Right? You heard of the Keval? Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. Popular word Kevalam. Kevala means only. So only means only, nothing else. So therefore Kevalasya Bhava Kevalya, the characteristic of Keval is called Kevalya. So it is seen in the form of moksha, means there is no duality, freedom from this duality, nirdvanda, niryogakshay, nirdvanda sattva sattvastha. So niryogakshay atmavan, as Krishna says. So that is one meaning of Kevalya. And then Jiva Goswami, while commenting this, he says that here in Bhagavatam, it does not mean moksha, it means prema, because prema, keval also means pure, because only, it's like it means this is pure gold, means only gold, nothing else mixed with it. And the purest thing is prema, because in prema there is oneness of heart. You don't have a vested interest. Anyabhilashita sunyam. Anya means also other, and sunya means devoid of, so that is also keval. So therefore he says Kevalya means here not moksha, prema, because of the context. Because if you see the verses before and afterwards, then moksha does not fit there. Okay, Gustavo ji.
Namaskar, Maharaj. So from the Earth's perspective, time is counting the rotation of the sun. But if Krishna says he is time, what is it? What is time from his perspective?
So time, what you are saying is how we divide it. Because time is not dependent on whether Earth is rotating around the sun or not rotating, or sun is rotating around Earth, geocentric or heliocentric or this. That is from our point of view, that we divide time for our practical dealings, and then we call one day has 24 hours. But time is just time. Time by itself does not have any divisions. Suppose Earth stops rotating around the sun. So then you think time will not be there? Time will still be there. It's like people who live in the North Pole or the South Pole, then for them, they don't see the way we see the time. Day and night, for 6 months it's just dark. So they may be able to divide now because of keeping harmony with us. Otherwise they will see it in a different way. Like that's what we say, that for the Pitris, 6 months is equal to 1 day. No, that is 15 days. I mean, different people have different calculations. So when Krishna says time, I means time is his energy. It is also a type of energy, he has various types of energy. So time is one energy, it is under his control. That's what he means. Everyone else, as we saw here, is being influenced by time. Gun vyatikarah kala. What is the main role of time is that it influences the gunas of Prakriti. That's how Prakriti undergoes the cycle of creation, sustenance and destruction because of time. So Krishna does not undergo that cycle, therefore he is not having birth and death like us. It's his Leela. He is not influenced by time. It's not that time does not exist in Goloka. Time is there because we say he is doing his Leela. So if he is doing Leela, there has to be time where he eats, goes to sleep. But he is not influenced by time that he becomes old as we become. Okay, Sandeep.
So Krishna also said that Smriti Jnanam Apavanam Cha. So in this case, like when he is coming in front of Muchukunda, he could have imparted that Gyan. This is I think the first time like Muchukunda is asking for Bhagavan and then also giving his introduction and so is just is Leela or any special this thing? Why he is not given him the Gyan in the first stage itself?
Why should he give?
Yeah, in the sense he would have known that Krishna is the Supreme.
So then what will happen?
So then he would have started saying his prayers, like we've seen in earlier sections of Bhagavatam.
No, so then what will happen? Earlier sections of Bhagavatam, people know that he is Krishna. So they knew. Brahma knew, then he prayed. When he did not know, he did not pray. When he realized, then only he prayed. Indra also.
So I am getting this doubt because you also explained this Vastu Prabhav.
What was the problem?
So, I think we did in the 9th or 8th canto, when Narad went to that hunter. So although he didn't know Narad, but then because of that influence of he being Narad, he did not utter any foul words or something. He was very respectful. He listened to Narad. So in this case, why is he? I am getting little doubt that Bhagavan himself, Sakshat, is present in front of him, but still he is having that Bhagavan on that.
Yeah, so he wants to act. We have been talking so much that he is doing his Rāsa-līlā. Why not you ask that why he has to run so much? He could have killed him standing there in Mathura. If Muchukunda could burn him with his eyes, you think Krishna could not burn him? So then you will keep on saying like this, why Bhagavan is doing this, why Bhagavan... Bhagavan wants to teach us something, he is doing his Rāsa-līlā. So then there is no need, he can stay and not come on earth and kill asuras. That's what you are indicating.
It is his Rāsa-līlā.
Yeah, that's what we are reading.
The place you mentioned in Dholpur, you have been ahead of Agra, so where this Dholpur, where this cave is?
Yeah. Okay, Mohini.
You mentioned Vajrayanti Mala and Vanamala, and you say that Vanamala is made of lotus and Vajrayanti Mala is made of 5 different colors.
One mala maybe not necessarily lotus, but just any flowers. As the name says, forest flower.
Okay. Yes, that was my question. Like, is Vana a synonym for lotus? But okay, it's a forest flower. And how does Vajrayanti Mala means 5 different colors?
It doesn't mean it is described that. The word does not mean that.
Can you maybe explain what the word means, Vajrayanti?
Vajanti means victorious. We know Vijaya.
And why is then being victorious in connection with the 5 different colors?
That looks beautiful. Multicolor. Okay, yeah.
You explained the Apangta, but the Pankti Pavana, what would that be?
One who purifies, Pavana enemy, purifier.
So then someone comes in the row where they're not pure.
He is pure, so he is so pure that he purifies you. Like you say, Patit Pavana. Okay, you have? Okay, all right. Let's read Harinamit Vakaran. So we are in Tadhya